Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 11. If my voice sounds a little bit crazy, it's because I'm getting a little sick. I don't know how or what happened, but it got me. Luckily, it's not in my throat yet. Pause. It's just like one of those nasal things. So it's in like my nose and my head and stuff like that. So I'm not quite there yet, but once my throat starts getting itchy, it's over. I'm really excited about today's episode because I have a lot to talk about, but I wanted to start off by saying that I think I'm going to be uploading a new episode every Sunday because 2 weeks, I did like a little test to see what day I felt most comfortable posting an episode. And I was like, on the top of my head, I was like, it's going to be every Friday. Like, I feel like people will want a new episode, like going into the weekend and stuff like that. They can listen to it on their drive home from work, right? And so Friday came and I just did everything but record a podcast episode. So I was like, okay, so it obviously can't be Friday. And then I was like, so clearly it can be Saturday because I don't ever have anything to do on Saturdays. Like, I'm always chilling. I can do an episode every Saturday. Cool. Well, slept the whole day, both Saturdays. And I was like, oh, that's why I don't ever do anything because I'm always fucking asleep. Okay. So it can't be a Saturday. Sunday is when I usually do like laundry and stuff. And I'm just up really early. So I was like, okay, Sunday is definitely going to work. And today is Sunday. And then I checked like my previous episodes and like 3 of them were on Sunday. So I was like, oh yeah, should have thought about that a little bit sooner. But so now I'm going to be for sure uploading an episode every Sunday. So I'm super excited about that. See, that's how you know it's in my nose and in my head because it's affecting the way I speak and it's bothering me. But it's okay. But going back to the intro, I do know what it is and I know what it's going to sound like and stuff like that. I think it's super cute and I brought the audio mixer so that way I could just chop it up like physically instead of trying to do it like digitally because I just can't. I've been hearing people tell me like, oh, you got to use a certain app like CapCut. I was on CapCut for like 20 minutes and then I just deleted the whole app. I was like, this isn't for me. I don't know what I'm doing. So once the audio mixer comes in and I can actually put the 2 clips together, then I promise I will have the intro music because I feel like it's so weird to click on a podcast and just the person just immediately starts talking. I mean, maybe that's not weird, but it's just weird to me. So I want to have one and I got one, so I'm gonna use it. Okay, let's start the episode because if not, I'll just keep on talking about random shit. Okay, so I do have a thought of the day, and this thought of the day is kind of Connie T. Like, it's kind of controversial, and I was having this conversation with a friend, and it was one of those conversations where like you and that person disagree, but it doesn't get like really heavy and doesn't turn into yelling and stuff like that. You just like, I understood her side and I know for a fact she understood my side. And the conversation that we had was about being biracial, and I'm not biracial, but she is. And you could tell we had like 2 different takes on it, and it was just interesting to hear both of our like opinions on it. So my friend is white and black. Her mom's white and her dad, her mom's black and her dad's white. And so I think we started this conversation we were like talking to each other about our childhood and stuff like that. And we both had like a similar story. And we were laughing and we was like, that's just like having a black mom experience. And then, she kind of went off and said like, a lot of people try to tell her that she's not black, but she can relate to a lot of, black things because she is black. She lived a black life, right? Which is true, but she is, she's the kind of mixed person that if you didn't know she was mixed, you would just think she was white, right? And so I know for a lot of biracial people, especially now, the topic of, being biracial in general is a really touchy subject. So I tried not to trigger her as much as possible, but I wanted her to understand why she might have gotten picked on by black people or by white people just from the side of a person being 100% one thing, right? And I know this doesn't make sense, but give me a minute. So I'm not saying that being bullied for anything is a good thing, but We've all been through it. I used to get bullied for being hairy, right? I was just a hairy child. And even though, I mean, it was true, so I can't really use that as an example. But let's just say I wasn't hairy. Let's just say I had some extra hair arm. Arm hair, I mean. So it's not to say that what you get bullied by is true, but, kids, y'all remember what I said in the last episode? I hate when I have a thought, and then when I try to say it, the shit just go away. I'm sick. So I'm not trying to condone bullying, but if we're being for real, most children or people, if there are any grown people that bully, I mean, I know they are, but most people bully based upon what they see or their perception of things, right? Even if that's a deep insecurity to the person they're bullying, they can only bully by what they see on the outside because they don't know you as a person, which is why they're trying to make you feel bad by bringing out the most, random thing on your body, your face, anything. So what I was trying to explain to my friend was that on the outside, you look white. But since people know that you're half black, they'll try to call you white girl or something like that just to get under your skin because that's the only thing they can bully you about. They can't call you ugly. They can't, you're not hairy like I was. So, that's the only thing they know that would cause a reaction out of you because that's the only thing that's the first thing they notice about you when they know you is that this is a white girl, but I know she is half black. So let's just gun for that and see what we get. And every time it gets a reaction out of you. Also, I told her I was going to talk about this on the podcast. So don't be like, damn, she just airing her friend out. I'm not. I told her. Like, as we were having the conversation, I was like, I'm definitely going to talk about this on the podcast. She was like, bet. Okay. So then we started talking about her era of like this. I've known her since middle school. So there was like a time in middle school where she used to just be like overly black. And I know y'all are like, what the fuck is that? But she used to do it big. And I was like, girl, please don't do that. Like, that's a lot. That's what she felt like she had to do for anybody to see her blackness. I mean, her skin is, white. Her hair didn't have a lot of curl. She didn't have that many black features, so she was like, this is the only way people are going to recognize that I am black by doing what I think looks like other black women, right? But it was such an exaggeration that it was almost offensive because it's just like, if it doesn't come natural, then it just looks crazy. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I ever have seen a black woman do the stereotypical black woman attitude, I never think, why is she acting like that? I just think that, oh, that's a black girl that's mad. You know what I mean? But when other people try to do it, it's just like, they always do too much. You know what I mean? So, okay, let me get back to the point. But I would tell her this, and she recognized it, and we're both grown, so she was like, yeah, that was a hot mess. But it was such a foreshadowing moment because I remember back in the day, or at least when I was growing up, a lot of people that were actually 100% black didn't even like to be considered 100% black. There was always an Indian, or my great grandma's brother, cousin, sister was white, or there had to be a little bit mix in the pool that wasn't black to be considered like unique or, just not black, because nobody wanted to be that. And now it's completely flipped and nobody wants to be anything without a little bit of black in them. And it's just weird, right? So she was doing something back then that almost, well, I'm not going to say that, but a lot of biracial people are doing now. Or not even biracial, but 25%ers. They focus, or they try to hone in more on the black than what comes natural to them and their personality. So then we got on, the topic of the actual percentages of being white and black and what they mean. And I remember her always saying, like, I'm 100% a black woman. Just because I have a white dad doesn't make me any less black than a regular black woman. And I'm like, okay, so even though this is my friend, I'm like, the fact that you said regular black woman, that's the first thing. And then 2, having a white parent 100% and absolutely does make you less black than a quote unquote regular black woman. It literally does. The main thing that separates a biracial woman from a black woman is the bi part in the racial. One has a black parent, or one has two black parents, and the other has one black parent and another race parent. So when she said that, I was like, okay, so I want you to say that whole sentence again, but like say it slow. Because being biracial, and this is just my opinion, being biracial and having a white parent doesn't mean you don't get to identify as black. It just means that you have to identify with both. It's literally 50-50 because of the advantages that you may get of being a biracial child by having lighter skin, lighter eyes, a more acceptable texture of hair. And let's not even talk about the benefits and opportunities you get of having that white adult parent in the house. You know what I mean? That a child of two 100% black parents may not get a chance to get. And let's not act like, that's not a thing. So you have to, as hard as you're trying to go for being a 100% black person, you have to realize the advantages and the opportunities it comes with being biracial. Even if you don't necessarily look biracial, it comes with its own benefits, whether it stems from the parent and what they do for a living or the opportunities that they have and can pass down to you. I think biracial people try to take it personally when it's not necessarily, it's not your fault that you're biracial. It's not a bad thing. And I think that when fully black people try to tell them that, they get offended, or we try to take their black card away from them. Because just like I said, it doesn't mean you get to identify. It doesn't mean you don't get to identify with being black. It just means that you also need to identify and you also need to identify with the fact that just as much as you are black, you are white. And that's not a bad thing. Now, if we're being, honest, I can see historically is all I'm saying. I can see why, but it almost seems like pointing out when someone's biracial, it always seems like an attack, and it's not. It's a fact. It's just a fact. When you have a white parent, that does make you less black. It does not mean that you aren't black. It just literally means you have one black parent and one white parent, or one, other race parent. And so as I was explaining this to my friend, she understood, but I could tell that she still had her defenses up about it. And so then I had to take it to how it feels when a black woman that comes from two black parents can see the Zendaya effect, right? We all know Zendaya is a phenomenal actress, damn near model, she's everything, right? But when she's winning everything, or she's the first in the category, it always says first black woman, right? And to black women that came from two black parents, it's kind of with this title, and what this award is, or what this, ability is, and for that to be the picture, it's kind of well, yeah. It's you can't really say anything about it, but you want to. It's you can't say that she's not a black woman, because she is, but you can also say, not really, but both of those are valid, because when you see black woman, or when I see black woman, the last thing I think about is somebody who came from a white parent. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just my maybe I just need to get with the times, but I don't understand why mixed race can't be put into titles as well. Because, or biracial, if we want to be, technical. I don't see why that's bad to say the first mixed race, then again, that goes back to, that being an unnecessary title, or, people getting offended by that. So it's one of those things where you just have to be like, yeah, I mean, that is a black woman. So, I mean, yeah, what else am I going to say without getting, my eyes scratched out? But I can only imagine how it would feel if people presented people like Zendaya or other biracial people, if they would say the first white woman to win a Grammy at 23, you know what I mean? Or win a Emmy at 21. I imagine it would be just as awkward for white people to hear that as it is for black people to hear it, because it's just like, I mean, that's not a white person. I mean, there's white in there for sure, but like, that's not a white person, And I think to most people, if you have any amount of percentage of black in you, if your skin is brown and you have one curl on your head, then you are just black. And which is fine. And they forget about the other parent, the biracial part. So this is all the things that I'm telling my friend. And she understood. Like I said, we had a mutual understanding. And so then she said that she never had any of these conversations with her white family or with her white friends. The only time she ever felt like she wasn't black was when she was around black people. And I wholeheartedly understood that. I was like, yeah, to your white side of your family and to your white friends, they probably just look at you as a black girl, because they were like, well, she, her mom's black, so she has to be black. You know what I mean? They probably don't want to talk about it. And she looks white. Like I said, she has fair skin. Her hair is only a little bit curly. She doesn't really have any black features. So they probably don't feel like they need to bring it up because, you blend right in. Not trying to be funny or anything, but what do they have to talk about? But to your black side of the family, all of them are 100% black and you look like you're half. You know what I mean? So it's a topic to talk about, whether they should be talking about it or not. If your feelings get hurt, that's something that, you need to address with them. But you can't claim one side of your DNA knowing that you don't look it and not be willing to talk about your feelings on that topic. You know what I mean? If you just let people keep talking about it and it's giving you an identity complex, you know what I mean? And you're not expressing that, then you're going to end up being something you're not. And that's when we went back to her, middle school phase when she used to just pop gum and cock her neck to the side every time she said something. It was outrageous. So I don't know. And I just thought that whole conversation was really, just not eye-opening, but I never really get to hear the other side of, a black biracial woman. And she also said, like, oh, I never thought about how it made 100% black women feel when they hear the title first black woman or, this and that, and it turns out to be a white, almost white passing black woman, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, so even if a fully black person did do that second, she would be considered the second black woman to ever do this. You know what I mean? So, those are things you have to take it outside of it being a personal attack and actually listen and see what those words are doing to other people. Whew. Okay, guys. I just wanted to talk about that. I know you guys are listening like, what the hell is she talking about? This is why I need a guest, because the back and forth banter is what I need, because sometimes when I have a thought, it gets stuck on my tongue and I'm like, what is happening? I'm having a stroke or something. But yeah, guys, I know that one was a little controversial, like I said. If you are a biracial woman listening, love you, girl. Like, yeah. I just really wanted to talk about that because I feel like it's one of those things that you avoid talking about just so an argument doesn't fuse up. But I knew this was the right person to have this conversation with, because she doesn't ever get mad at me. How, I don't know. And I don't really raise my voice at her. So I knew it was going to be like a really peaceful conversation. And I ended up seeing her side, that, you know, I ended up understanding a lot more about how she felt about it than I expected to. So it was just a good conversation. But okay, guys, let's actually move on. I know you guys are listening like, this bitch is the definition of unhinged. Like, what is everything okay? But I promise I am. I just have a lot to talk about. Okay, so can we talk about just the widespread of overwhelming uninterest and disgust it comes to dating? Because honestly, I find myself, just like everybody else, in this weird, like, back and forth pool of just wanting a big, strong man and just telling everybody to get the hell away from me. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm in my bed at night, eating chips and shit, watching anime, I'm like, wow. A man behind me would be it would be just so fire right now. I would love that. And then every man that approaches me ever, I'm like, oh my God, no. Never. Like, it's literally never going to be you. And I don't know if that's because, like, I have this ideal, like, fantasy of what that's going to be like, or if I'm looking for, like, a specific man. I don't know what's going on, but it's getting outrageous. I don't know if, like, my man is in another country. Oh, matter of fact, he has to be in another country, because I have traveled so many places, and America just, it's not even, just the quality of men in America is just crazy. I'm like, I can't. No matter what side you go to, east, west, it doesn't matter. They're all trash. No, I'm just kidding. I hope a man's not listening to me like, damn, bitch, y'all not trash. I mean, you are, but, like, the women trash too. I'm actively speaking as a piece of trash, so don't take it personally. It's just, everybody's trash and everybody wants to be with somebody, and it's like slim pickings. You know, I told somebody this that commented on one of my posts on TikTok, and I was like, it went from being like plenty of fish in the sea to now just like a bunch of like horseshoe crabs and shrimp. Like, what is going on? It's slim pickings for real, and everybody thinks that they're a catch, and that's just not true. Like, y'all remember episode 5? I'm a literal piece of shit, and I'm just like, why can't anybody just wife me up? Like, why doesn't anybody want this? I'm perfect, and I'm literally not. And that's the number one problem with everybody. Like, men thinking should just be illegal. Oh my God, I'm sick. But I have those thoughts, and then I go right back to those days where, you know, I'm alone, I'm watching my favorite show, I'm eating my favorite food, and I'm just chilling by myself, and I'm like, why would I want anybody to disturb this? Like, this is perfect. There's people who dream about having days like this. Why would I ever want anyone, let alone a man or a woman, because, you know, but why would I ever want just another person in this atmosphere? I would never be able to have this again if I did, you know, or it would be like real seldom if I did. So I try to appreciate all of my alone time as much as I can, because once it's up, it's up. And I only take advantage of my free time when I'm in it, because, like I said, when anybody tries to like move to me, chirps, like anybody try to like get my number, I'm like, I physically can't. I physically can't give you my phone number. Like, I'm gonna throw up. I can't. Or like, I can't have friends. Yeah, like, you can't have friends? I can't. Not you. I'm sorry. Why don't you let me take you out? I can't. It costs. I don't have any free time. You know what? Unfortunately, all of my free time is expensive as fuck right now. I can't even pencil you in. I'm so sorry, sir. Please get away from me before I start crying. Like, I just can't. I can't. But let that light turn off and it be 10 p.m. Slow jams come on. I'm the most loneliest bitch ever, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if it's the fact, like, I want to be loved. I just know deep down I shouldn't be at this very moment. And I'm just like, you just want everything you know you shouldn't have. The fact that you know you shouldn't have it makes you want it even more. I don't know if that's what's going on, but when I tell y'all, it's the most topsy-turvy shit I've ever been through in my life. And then when I see like couples, oh my gosh, I'll be out to eat by myself, right? Which is not sad, by the way. I know you thought it, but it's not. I'll be having the time of my life. But I'll be seeing couples out while I'm like out eating. and they'll just be like holding hands, or they'll like reach across the counter and like give each other like a random kiss, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Wow, that could be me, huh? But instead I got my AirPods in, watching Demon Slayer, eating chicken pasta. You know what I mean? Just by myself. But then, whole time, I could not even be knowing that there's like a woman with like her husband just staring at me like, damn, that bitch look like she having the time of her life. Just a random Tuesday just at Olive Garden eating chicken pasta. Like, wow, that looked like the life. And here I am sitting listening to this nigga's annoying ass day about work that I don't even know what he does. All right. But yeah, so my fault, I had to calm down again. See, see, I can't even talk. There go that unhinged I was talking about. I know when people listen to this in the car or at the gym, they're like, why is she screaming in my ear? I'm so sorry. Y'all know what I'm talking about though. Also, quick segue. I low-key am getting real excited about switching to a video recorded podcast, because as much as I have insecurities about people looking at me and stuff like that, I feel like y'all need to see my face expressions when I tell y'all these stories, because I need y'all to see the look that I be giving people sometimes, because it's crazy. So I'm definitely getting more excited about that. And I think maybe in 2 years we'll reach the 1,000 follower point, and then I'll be able to switch. I feel like that's a good enough time for me to get my insecurities in check. But okay, guys, I'm going to end the episode here. Oh wait, why do I say I'm going to end the episode and then I have hella shit to talk about? Okay, so wait, listen, girl, listen. So I really want to start selling laptop stickers. I want to create an Etsy account and sell laptop stickers with the logo on it. And I thought about either hoodies or coffee mugs with the logo on it. I think that would be super cute. But I don't think people would use the coffee mugs if I sold them on Etsy. And I can make all of this stuff, by the way. I can even make the hoodies. But I just feel like people would buy a hoodie more than they would buy a coffee mug. Like a laptop sticker or a phone sticker. Hell yeah. When I be in box lunch, I buy hella stickers. So I know people will buy stickers. And I just think the logo is cute enough to be like a little small picture on a black or white or a pink hoodie. Wouldn't that be so cute? Would y'all not rock that? That's so cute. I'm gonna have to make one for myself and then post a picture and be like, tell me this would not look cute, right? On you. It would. I know it would. So when you finish this episode and you get to this part, DM me on Instagram or TikTok and let me know what you think about that, because I really want to do that. I got the thought first because I was like, I just need to represent the podcast. I need people to know that I have this podcast. That's the first time I thought about making the hoodie. I was like, I could just wear it around, and if somebody asks oh, that's dope, where'd you get that? I can actually be like, well, since you asked, it's actually my podcast, so you can follow me. You know what I mean? Just promote myself. And then I was like, well, wait, if somebody asked about it, that means they would want one. And wouldn't you want them to be able to get one? And then I just went from there. I had a whole moment. So yeah, guys, laptop stickers and hoodies with the logo on it. I really think I want to do that. Not maybe in the summertime. Maybe in the summertime. Why would I want to sell a hoodie in the summertime? No, I'm gonna do it. I be buying hoodies in the summertime, so I'm gonna do it. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys in episode 12.